teeth are in anarchy, and they just run away from me too. My teeth are infected, and I just want to ignore you. My teeth are in anarchy. My teeth are in anarchy.
What's your worst assignment horror story?
I had a 10-page paper, and, that didn't turn out too well. Just last night, actually,
Oh, yeah! There's only one thing that can bring this world together, and that begins with you. The word begins with you, not you. I'm gonna tell you what word it is. Usury! On the dance floor. Get that ass up. Bankers, get on the floor. Bankers, make the people poor. Bankers, get more paid. Bankers, get more paid. Get more paid. I wanna see your ass poor. CEOs, yeah, I'm talking to you. Get more hoes, get more paid, get more votes, get more laid. I wanna see the CEOs ruining lives to the beat. Ruin those lives in 141 BPMs. Oh yeah. Sweet cool. Sweet cool. Just race. I wanna see the banker on the floor. I wanna see your ass poor. Make it clap. Make it fiat clap. Shake that ass. Usury. On the dance floor. Fiat cash in my bank account. Bankers, get on the floor. Bankers, make the people poor. Bankers, get more paid. Bankers,
Wine mom. Oh, wine mom. Wine mom. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. What's up, nerds? What's up, haters? Debaters and tater tots. What's up, all you tater tots? We're back. It was a long, dark journey. It was a difficult time, but thank God we made it through it. We persevered. I missed live streaming. I missed all the fun. Had to make do with a bunch of short clips. Being on the road, you never know how the internet's going to work. And most of the time, hotel Wi-Fi and all that, it's basically whatever Tristan has down in Mexico. Thank you to whoever sent me the Bitcoin hat. Appreciate that. I don't exactly know who sent it. They also sent me a little joke with it, which was funny. Appreciate that. Things should be back to normal this week, which means that we're going to have the normal streams, the normal jokes, the normal madcap foolery, the normal lasciviousness, the normal insanity that we usually express and experience over here. So don't worry. I had people like, wow, why aren't you streaming? Where's your audio files? Well, we had basically Uncle Death visited us. Y'all might have heard of him. He's a little on the dark side. His name is Grim, aka Reaper. And he visited twice. Yo, what's up, Grim Reaper? Visited twice. I'm not talking about Jamie White. I'm making a joke about friends and family. Because if friends and family pass away, it's appropriate. You can make a joke. But I didn't really know Jamie White. So it was not appropriate for me to make jokes about that. Not making jokes about that. But it was 3 times. 3 times. Old Sawbones. Is that his name? Or is that the devil? Who's Uncle Death? Did you know Grim Reaper was just like a drunk uncle? He just kind of shows up. He's actually a little late. And he shows up in an RV. You know, like a boomer shows up in an RV. That's who showed up. 3X. We got a 3X visit from Uncle Death.
Hey, sorry. I had to show up. Take y'all's damn souls. I'm Uncle Reaper.
Uncle Reaper shows up like Uncle Eddie from National Lampoon's Vacation. Anyway. I'm just making jokes, making light of the situation. Thank y'all for those generous super chats. Yeah, so we had a challenging month. We did not expect. I was supposed to be at the ARC conference, and we were looking forward to that. It was going to be fun. A lot of I didn't even realize a lot of people we know, a lot of our friends were there. We got the invite from Pajot, and John Hears was there. I didn't know that. Jake Rattlesnake was there. Didn't know that until we thought we were going. And then we had these situations of people, really close getting sick and passing. So we were not able to go to the ARC conference. Maybe next year. But we also planned to go hang out with other friends in the UK. It wasn't just for that. We were going to do a bunch of other stuff. But, that's providence. Divine providence happens for a reason. So we had to go to Texas for a funeral. And as you guys probably know, in Texas, we headed down to Lord Voldemort's. And as soon as we got there was a unfortunate attack on a person, Jamie White. A lot of wondering, questioning, speculation. It's not really clear what's going on. I will mention, I guess, first this Tucker clip, because I don't think I can play other clips here. You know what I mean? So we'll listen to this first. This is a brief clip. A little bit of a rundown.
Seem to be
here.
a rogue organization now. We've got 200,000 of them here in the United States, and I don't know how many thousands of them are working for the SBU, the Ukrainian Secret Police, that are now running around threatening everyone that has criticized Ukraine or opposed support for Ukraine.
An Alex Jones staffer was just murdered 2 days ago, who was on some list put together by the Ukrainian government or its supporters of critics. He was murdered outside of his house. I mean, I don't think it's crazy to think, given the number of assassinations they've pulled off or attempted, that he was killed by them. You think that's possible?
Well, I would be very worried about our president.
So, as soon as we got there, this was all going on, and it was crazy. So, don't know exactly what the whole story was, but everybody else knows as much as I know. So, people were saying, "Oh, you better be careful. Watch out." Look, one of the reasons I don't like to fly is because you can't take your self-defense items pop when you fly. So we typically drive, and you better believe there's a pop. You know what I mean? Now let's see if I can do a little bit of explaining here for all the gun dorks. The gun dorks were calling me out because they were laughing. Why y'all laughing? Because I'm Alaskan. Because I posted this here, right? So you see this right here. So we went out with good friends Hesher and Spore at the gun range. And it's fun. I love going to the gun range. In Tennessee, you don't go to the gun range because you just go out in the backyard. But if you live, I guess, near a town, you can't really do that. But now, people thought that this was me shooting a rifle, which was pretty funny because, yeah, if I was shooting a rifle and this was what I was doing, this is pretty wild. This looks like a damn mobster's Tommy gun, right? This is like, Sonny Corleone over here losing his mind or whatever. No, this was 3 or 4 people shooting on the 3 people shooting, two or 3 of us shooting on this target. And what we did was we put it the second to furthest away at the shooting range because we wanted to get something challenging. We started with the 10 yards, which is 30 feet, which was pretty easy with multiple handguns. So we put this one as far away as possible, and we're trying as best we could with multiple handguns. And Hesher, who is a gun aficionado, had multiple handguns. So we were testing them all out, and not to brag, Hesher, I'm sure, is way better of a shot than me, but perhaps I got lucky. I did hit the 2 target shots there with a handgun without a carrot sight, but with an actual metal sights from 75 feet. That's a pretty good ways away. So people misunderstood this. Now it took about 32, so it was 8 bullets in the magazine. It took about 4 for me to get 2 bullseyes, or right on the bullseye. That's hard because, as you can see, most of my shots were to the bottom right in the green. And I was like, okay, this gun just shoots like down and to the right. So I just moved the aim up and to the left. And that's how I got the 2 bullseyes there. So people in the comments were all laughing, but I just bring it up because I thought this was funny. And then we spent the entire day there shooting guns. It was like hours of shooting. People thought this was like all retorted, but actually it's pretty good because it's really difficult with a handgun to shoot 75 feet. So this was 25 yards, again, with just a handgun, standing, not resting your arms, just standing. So yeah, I thought this was actually pretty good. And there was about 5 gun nerds that were like, actually what he did is pretty good. It's not easy to do that. As you can see, there we are having fun. That was a lot of fun. Now that middle gun is the one that has no carrot on it. That was the one I had the most fun with. The gun that Hesher has there, that has a carrot on it, and that was hard too, because it's like super wobbly if you're trying to shoot, really far away. Anyway, it was a wild, crazy week to say the least. But it was just wild to go from the range, and then the very next day was all the stuff popping off over here, right? So enough of that. Thank you guys for your support. Welcome everybody to an evening late night live stream because I felt like I just wanted to do it because we've been driving for days nonstop. We drove from Tennessee to Texas and then Texas to all the way to the other side. And we drove for 2 days straight. So I'm super exhausted. It's like a little inverted carrot. I don't know what you call the, it's not any, thank you, Hesher, Heshington, who was there, gun aficionado. See, I don't even know the terms. And I had, basically, I'm there getting my Mossad training, right? So I'm now officially approved Israel's top sniper, so you don't get within 75 feet of me, basically. Yes, a scope. I know what a scope is. I just didn't know what a pistol-mounted red dot. Thank you, Hesher. These were his items, so he is the resource and the official authority on these items. A Delta reticle. It looks like a carrot. How's that? Here comes all the nerds in the chat to set me straight. Anyway, so let's get to this because there's a lot of stuff popping off. I know I'm a little scatterbrained, but that's because I'm super tired, man. We drove all day yesterday, all day today, and then we've been driving for days and days before that. So my mind is basically just potato milkshake, dude. That's all I know right now. I wrote down, let's get through these things. So first thing is, I wanted to talk about this because I missed it. And I'm going to talk about a little bit of Catholic stuff, and then we're going to move on to this other dumb shit from James White. James White was talking sassy smack this week. I don't know if you've heard his lisp, but it was a predestined lisp. It was predestinated. And he's got just the sassiest little lisp. We're gonna talk a little bit about that in a minute, but just see what Bannon is mentioning here about Catholic charities. I forgot to mention this one, and actually Tim Gordon is who reminded me of this.
Catholic. What is it that you're actually asking? You're writing a letter to the Vice President of the United States, who is a convert to Catholicism, and you're asking him to begin or have the Justice Department do a racketeering investigation against the Catholic bishops. I just want to make sure I hear that right. You're an observant Catholic. You're writing to the Vice President of the United States, who's a Catholic convert, to ask him to get the Justice Department to do an investigation of the U.S. Catholic bishops on a racketeering charge, ma'am?
Yes, sir. And I'm not the first one. There's actually been quite a long line of people who were asked for the same thing because they absolutely have no transparency on, they subcontract a lot of this work to other organizations. And in fact, it's been shown by many studies that these organizations don't comply with, are not coherent with Catholic teaching on morality. We don't know what the heck else they're doing because it doesn't seem like they're keeping records, or at least they're not showing us the records. So we have had no success for many decades trying to get the church to be transparent.
Taxpayers deserve accountability.
Okay, Boomer. Good luck getting the globalist institution of Francis's Vatican to give you any accountability when it used to be the American bishops were the revolutionaries and the progressives. And now Francis has gone light years beyond all those people. And as Tim Gordon reminded me, himself a Catholic, it was actually USAID that was also giving money to Catholic charities to support not just the illegal situation, but also the human TRAFFICK situation.
See the transparency, where our money's going.
Yeah, both.
And we have movies like Mother Cabrini being released last year, all about orphanages and how we take care of immigrants in the United States. But now we have 300,000 children missing. Like, where's all the orphanages, Steve? Like, where are all those videos of children being taken care of?
Yeah, because it's a TRAFFICKING operation, dog. Hey, dude, how you make this feel? How does this make you feel, white boy? Why they doing this to our bishops right here? Anyway, there's something else I was looking for. I can help all of you Roman Catholics out if you're wondering why and how
classified.
How this is happening, because I've actually covered it for many years, and I've lectured through the entire 800-page books that cover it. And so I tweeted at Candace and Jack Brasobiec today. Would you like me to explain to you from your own church's documentation how and why this happens? Let's listen to my little TikTok here.
This is wild. In 2013, it was declassified that the CIA had a special doctrinal warfare program during the Cold War that involved the infiltration of numerous religious organizations, churches, and outfits in order to make sure that they went along with the CIA State Department line during the Cold War. This is all listed here in this massive 800-page book by David Wemhoff. Now, this doctrinal warfare program never ceased, in my view. I think it morphed into other things. You can look at, for example, all the USAID money that was given to things like Catholic Charities. So this is a real infiltration and religious engineering of the church that's done by the state using our tax money, using, it says here, even the creation of new schisms and sectarian movements to split churches. This is why.
All right, so you notice there, I'm trying to make it easy for all the rot brains out there that can't handle a 2-hour live stream that goes through the documents and lectures through all the books, because that's where we're at. I was asking Grok, like, what the best algorithmic effective situation is with videos, and he says that it's 30 seconds. It's not even a minute anymore. So it's like, if you can get a person to watch your entire 60-second video, you're like, you know, if it goes past 60 seconds, it's a danger zone, dude. Now also, episode 3 is out. We're already working on episode 4 of the Sam Hyde show. I didn't even, as I finally got through some of this when we were on the road, actually they ended up using quite a bit of what I wrote about Ross and Hawk Tua. And so if you guys didn't check out episode 3 of Sam Hyde show, a significant section of the show is my contribution. So be sure and check that out. I think towards the end, Sam set it up as a paid half. So that the second half is a lot of interesting Hagakure, which I didn't know anything about, but this is apparently the samurai warrior code mentality. So some of it is, you know, Buddhist philosophy and all this kind of stuff, which I'm not, and Sam makes this point, like, we're not advocating everything about Buddhism, but there's some really good warrior spirit principles with Hagakure. And it's a book that is from the era when Japan was going from like tribal chieftains to, you know, emperors or whatever. Or no, excuse me, tribal chieftains to merchant class rule. And how a lot of the samurai tried to handle this, because it signified kind of a degenerate stage. If any of you watched the recent popular, what was that show? I just went blank. It's a remake of the 70s Japan history show. It was a really well done series. And I watched all of it. It was just on FX or something. It was a really touted series. Shogun. Thank you, Vic. Yeah, Shogun was pretty good. I watched Shogun, and it's kind of that same time frame of what Sam is talking about with this text. I've not read this text. This is new to me. So shout out to some of you guys. I'm going to read some super chats here in a second. Appreciate that. But again, if you go to mde.tv right here, you can subscribe and get access to the full shows right there. Appreciate that, you guys. He just posted about Jay. Who posted about me? Who are you talking about, Job? Who are you talking about? Also, by the way, you can check out for the live comedy events with Sam and the Bros, Nick and Charles, to get tickets right here. They just redid the website, by the way. So yeah, I'm happy to be. I'm loving being involved. It's really cool. Oh, James White. Okay, I don't care about James White. I'm going to talk about James White here in a minute and all his sassy lisp. I think James White has his bow tie is on a little too tight. I don't know if he wears his bow tie a little too tight because it's cutting off the circulation and it might be causing a little bit of this lisp. But he's got this just so damn sassy. He's just got the sassiest little lisp. Ooh. Are you guys noticing that sassy little lisp? Anyway, look, I would rather be in the circles of and writing for Sam Hyde any day of the week than in the circles of that goblin, that damn sassy ass goblin James White and his demon cult. So let's get over here to that because I guess it's time to to mention this. So not Sam Hyde, James White, as we said, was not interested in any kind of debate for the last 7 years. I remember trying to get a debate with him, argued with him on Twitter. I tweeted at him years ago, 2017, 18, somewhere in there. And his answer was, I don't have time for Orthodox stuff. I don't care about understanding or studying Orthodox stuff, and I'm not interested in debating any Orthodox people. So that was his stance for 6-7 years. And I specifically asked I said, let's debate essence energy distinction. Let's debate filioque and your Trinity. And your ADS doctrine, because he has this a goofy ADS view, by the way. And not interested. So he commented on me once in one of his videos like 5 years ago. So he knows who I am. But in his comment, he's like, is this the J. Dyer? Is this the J. Dyer? As if he doesn't know like which one I am. So here's my comments on this whole stuff when it happened that day. I'm just going to play this because I'm super tired. And you can hear what I said. And then we'll go to some of his toxic masculinity comments where he's showing his masculine prowess with the lispiest lisp you've ever heard in your life. Is this going to play? Why is this not playing? Maybe this doesn't play if I've got all this audio stuff going. I just thought the first part about the sassy pants stuff was funny. Now, the reason I'm playing this is because as all this was happening, he was on Twitter tweeting at me. And I unblocked him for the time being. I didn't block him because he mentioned me. I blocked him years ago when he was just on a heretical roll way long ago. Like 6 years ago. So he's always been blocked. I wanted nothing to do with that dude. And when everybody started messaging, James White's talking about you. James White's like I care. And I'm like, what did he say? Okay, so he says, we're going to read it in a second. But I want to play this comment first because this is funny. Is there no sound on this thing?
I attend to a
Calvinism.
Oh, here we go. I don't know why it's not wanting to play on. Maybe I can find the timestamp here.
Hop on a damn
Here we go.
She's down there.
So here are my thoughts on James White. I got to go to 2 minutes to like 3 minutes in here. Let's see if we can do that.
He's over there on. The flashy, sassy new drama.
Right, welcome. Hope everybody's having fun.
From the internet's hottest little bow tie wearer. I'm talking about that predestined, a Sunni, occasionalist, Calvinist Muslim man, James White, and his little cute little list that he's got. He's just so in a tizzy today. He's just sassy today. Something got up under him and got him all sassed. I don't know what it is, but if we're going to go to Romans 9, honey child, he's our man. He can exegete that perfectly with that diploma mill degree that he got down in South Africa down there with his little Ubuntu friends that he's got. I wonder what they get up to down there with that little lisp he's got. And there's no telling. Or maybe he did it. Maybe he did his diploma mill degree online. I think they have extension courses up there for little James, wherever he's located inside of his little RV. They might be over here in New Orleans right now if it's Mardi Gras time. I'm over here about 50 miles outside of New Orleans. I could just run over there and find James if he's over there down in the French quarters. If he's down there exegeting Romans 9 for some of the men's over there in the French quarters. But listen, I'll tell you one thing, honey. You ain't going to find a better Cosby sweater anywhere in the damn U.S. than down there in that French Quarter. Some of them women's down there that does the tarot readings, the tarot cards, honey, them tarot readers will sew you a Cosby sweater like Joseph's Technicolor Dreamcoat, honey, out of the Book of Genesis, honey. And that's what James White's all about. I hope James White's will come over here and I can just talk to him a little bit. But he's got that cute little, honey, have you ever seen that little Colonel Sanders goatee he's got? And it just makes me think all them chickens that Biden had just killed, all 150 billion of them. Honey, if I was thinking like James White and that Colonel Sanders predestination mindset, they was destined for it, honey. All 150 millions of them. But let's see. Maybe he'll come in here and tell us about Romans 9. Romans 9. I'm just joking, being silly. I'm poisoning the well. Oh, wait. If I poison the well, it's unchristlike. When James White poisons the well, it's boomer wisdom. I don't know what he was trying to say. If he doesn't debate a person with a green profile picture. Wow, these are good reasons. Now, for years, here's the backstory. We messaged James White to do debates on the essence center distinction, on absolute divine simplicity, filioque way, all of that stuff. And for years, he said,
yeah, so there's that. And here's my thought is we got to read the full quote first before we get into the whole lore of the RV. I mean, this was just too funny. He says, it's amazing, like, the out of touch of this kind of it's like, he might even be like elder Gen X, but he's full boomer, dude. Like, this dude is full boomer. I'm going to read it in the James White voice, too. Serious inquiry. I'm assuming this is the J. Dyer, who has been in numerous religious movements, but most recently, anyway, Orthodoxy. Now, keep in mind, James White is not in an actual church. He's an independent Baptist with a parachurch ministry. And, of course, all independent Baptists are all lay people anyway who are self-ordained. I have to admit, this graphic is troubling. So the first thing that he went for was my background graphic. What? I mean, it's just odd. I mean, of all the things. And the background graphic was made by my friend who is a professional cinematographer for literally like the biggest people in Hollywood. Not joking. And if you look closely, it's got a lot of lore in it. So there's all kinds of lore of my channel, my books, all the various subjects that we covered. There's like Klaus and people over there. There's, comedy and movies over here. And, there's a lot of symbolism in it, which he has no idea what any of that is. Not that I would even expect him to. But it's just funny that, like, just how out of touch and no idea what's going on. And he says, he has me blocked. I find it hard to take him seriously. Well, I wrote that I am a comedian, so thank you for not taking me too seriously. And you'll notice that Calvinists, by the way, all Calvinists care about is being taken seriously. They take themselves so seriously. All they care about is being seen as scholarly and being seen as intellectuals, because that's all Calvinism is. It's a religion of worship of the intellect. And I mean, because the deity of Calvinism is the same deity of Islam, who is a direct cause of every event, even of the secondary causes. So they might as well be occasionalists. They might as well be worshiping Allah. And essentially, as I'm told, at least Sam Shamoon points out, that James White is really friendly with his Muslim friends. And that might be because they have much more in common than anything to do with Christianity. His description is troubling. Comedian and host of AJ. Well, it's hard for older folks to take that seriously. I don't care. Why would you take a comedian's post seriously anyway? So even that phrase itself, it's hard for me to take a comedian seriously. It's like, is he writing bad jokes? Like, does he not understand why that phrase itself is stupid? I have responded to Mr. Dyer in years past. Okay, well then you're aware of who I am, and the first sentence doesn't make any sense. Is this the J. Dyer? Well, I thought you were aware of me from the past, so wouldn't you know? His attacks on scriptural sufficiency. I would like to arrange an in-person debate on the Seventh Ecumenical Council. I mean, we asked for many, many times, emails. We even sent to the adjacent James White people like Dirtbin, whatever his name is, and the response was 1 year out, maybe. Well, I wanted to debate the Trinity, essence, energy, distinction, ADS, these doctrines that Calvinists, to my knowledge, have never addressed. Have you ever heard a Calvinist address the same challenges that I would make to a Roman Catholic, a Thomist, and Augustinian? Has a Calvinist ever addressed it? No, they don't. And I think that given James White's previous admissions of not being aware of Orthodox theology, he knows full well that he wants to steer clear of that. And so during all of this nonsense, by the way, let's finish this. He says, my first question will be location. I don't have any idea where he lives. Well, I'm not telling you where I live. You don't need to know where I live. You're the last person I want to know where I'm located. It would make it easy to engage in a debate. I'm not dumb, I'm not falling for your traps. You're the first kind of person that would dox somebody. The earliest time frame I would have would be late November. So basically a year out. And then he goes on to talking about Orthodox nasty grams. Now, notice how like passive aggressive and bad faith this is. He could have sent me an email if he wanted to arrange a debate. No, he just wanted to drum up some attention and get clicks and whatnot. Why? I'm going to tell you why. And that's the key point that's what the real story of all this is. And it goes back to the Redeem Zoomer debate is part of the whole story of this. Now, he wants an in-person debate. This is the funniest part of it. I only travel via RV. Which I just thought was funny. Like, this just pure boomer, comedy value, right? So, I thought that made it right for not just joking about the list. Because, notice, he wants to throw underhanded jabs at me. I've been in multiple religious movements. Well, don't you think probably most of the younger audience that you interact with have been in numerous religious movements in their lives? And isn't that kind of common now in our age? I think it is. But the internet is not very friendly to Calvinism. In other words, just like Islam, the internet is not being a very good friend to Calvinism, especially when people who have been in Calvinism and in Catholicism, like myself, know those positions very well from the inside out. I went to Bonson Seminary and I studied Bonson stuff. I don't tout that because it's not an accredited seminary. But now, keep that accreditation point in mind, because we're going to see some funny things that the Catholics noted about Dr. James White here in a moment. So I just pointed out, you only travel in an RV, and my background graphic is what you found troubling. It's just, okay, boomer. I will only engage you if you wear your Cosby sweater and if you can get your lisp under control. I have a strict policy of not debating anyone with a metrosexual lisp. And you have one of the worst. And so if you can get that under control, I might think about debating you on the topics that I suggested years ago. But by the way, I thought this was, AI is great for this kind of stuff. So after all this comment about his RV traveling, it's like the most boomer thing ever. Dr. James White be like, build me an army worthy of me. Right, like Sauron or something, right? We got, so this is the perfect Calvinist Technicolor Dreamcoat Lisp army right here. I thought that was some fun AI work. And I think he made one more comment. I don't know where it is, but his other comment was something like, why would I respond to a person with a green profile picture? So of all the things that, again, he was looking for, my PFP being green, that was the thing. Like, I can't debate a person with a green PFP. Solid reasons, solid reasons, solid argumentation, solid wisdom from Dr. James White. Now, I remember reading James White's book, which, by the way, has still, I don't know if he's fixed it or not, but back in 1999, around 98, 99, I bought The Forgotten Trinity, and I've covered this before. I don't know if he knows. I don't think he does, because he doesn't know Trinitarian theology. He actually has like 2 or 3 heterodox statements about the Trinity in his Forgotten Trinity book. So he might want to look into that and fix those. But I don't think he's going to be able to fix it with his heterodox Latin Augustinian Trinitarian model anyway. And he knows good and well he wouldn't last 5 minutes in a debate on divine simplicity or the energies or any of that topic, filioque, because for him it's necessary to switch it over into debating a year out in an RV where he can travel to a location. And I said, look, dude, we do debates all the time, open forum, okay? So he's tweeting back and forth with me. He's got time. He's not busy. And I'm going to show you that he wasn't busy, because he went and made an hour-long video when I was asking him to just come chat. Now, if you've been debating Calvinism for 30 damn years, why do you need a year prep anyway? I don't need a year prep. I've never needed a year's prep for a debate. The most prep we had was about 6 months for the Jake debate, because I was waiting for that stupid Ibn Taymiyyah translation to come out. It had nothing to do with not wanting to debate Jake, right? But notice this. So while we were debating, I just sent him a link right here. Hey, you're debating on Twitter about my profile and my character and the superiority of your boomer RV lifestyle. And I said, stop whining and bitching about you can dish out insults and jabs, but you can't take them back when it comes back at you. His bio is just weird. He has a green face cartoon background. Now, he wouldn't come to the space. So you got time to make, what does he do during all this? Literally during this, he goes and makes an hour-long video. You could have just hopped in the space. Why do you need a year to talk about, even if it was the Seventh Ecumenical Council? I could have talked to you about that right now. We could have talked about any of these topics. So, and you're going to say, well, but he deserves a formal debate. Now, wait a minute. Why do I have to immediately cater to his demands? I mean, my channel has grown bigger than his. I'm not looking up to try to get attention and clicks from James White, who has, I don't know, 40,000 fewer followers than we do over here. So I'm supposed to just cave to his demands about a boomer RV driving, like he's going to drive in his RV only if it's close enough. He's probably just looking for where I live. Who knows why? In which I'm not going to tell him where I live. He doesn't need to know that. Nobody in this day and age, except for a couple people, when it's a high profile person that does it, it's just not worth in-person debates. You can have a online moderated debate, and it shouldn't be a year out. So if he's able to demand and give terms, why can't I demand and give terms? And my terms were, come on my X space instead of yapping and whining and bitching in all of your Twitter comments. But again, remember, I know the world of Calvinism. I know how these people think. I know the whole thing. Calvinists thrive on this. They thrive on this kind of stuff because the religion is empty. The religion is a God who creates babies to torment. It's insane. It's a religion of hate, essentially. And so if you wonder why he's known for being a humorless weirdo, allow me to explain via his own comments.
Seminary, and I'm not sure.
And I'm really glad this went viral because I think this signifies the latter stages of James White era, right? James White was at the height of his time in the 2000s. And he had Turretin Fan. He had his little malformed minions that tried to debate for him. And we saw what happened when Turretin Fan tried to debate Sam Shamoon. It was an absolute massacre. Maybe, a few months ago? A year ago? And so it's not looking good for the Calvinists online. Now, getting to my point about Redeemed Zoomer, why does James White suddenly care about what I talk about? He hasn't cared about me for 6 years, even though I have asked for debates in the past. Well, we all know that Redeemed Zoomer collapsed in our debate. And he's still mad about that debate. So we're, over a year out from Redeemed Zoomer debate. And the Redeemed Zoomer debate across multiple platforms has probably 200,000 to 300,000 views. Okay, so this was the rising young star of Calvinism. And it did not go well for him. In fact, it went so bad that he shut down his Discord because he said he had too many people becoming Orthodox and he didn't want his Discord to be a mechanism for people converting to Orthodoxy. Right? And then he says, not too long after that, he says, I'm retiring from apologetics. I'm going to quit. And he had a meltdown after this. After a debate with me with mild pushback, it was a civil discussion. I wasn't mean to him. Do you know what he did immediately after the debate? He went on Twitter, whined and cried that I was mean to him. I'm not joking. He later retracted that and said, okay, no, I just wasn't prepared. It was supposed to not be a debate. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't really see a big difference between what we had as a discussion and a informal debate. Essentially the same thing. Kyle wasn't really a moderator. He was just sort of facilitating a conversation. But people cannot handle pushback, especially from Gen Z. And people have they've been noticing this. There's a whole conversation on Twitter today about this. Like Gen Z people just like, they think that if they get any pushback, they scream and cry and think that you hate them. It's really weird. So they don't have the capability of dealing with good faith disagreements and exchanges. Everything is just hyper extreme emotionalism. But just on these two channels here, there's other channels. There's other channels with 30, 50, 60,000 views. So there's 300,000 views on this debate on Calvinism, which universally the comments are 99% that RZ was just demolished. And this is what led him to a year of angry tweeting about orthodoxy and retiring from doing apologetics. So we helped to retire Redeemed Zoomer. And it's not all about being mean and all this stuff. Like, Calvinism is a serious error. It's a serious heresy. And the people who have locked themselves into it and double down and double down and double down become like their deity. It is not bad or wrong to strongly oppose and even mock these heresiarchs. James White is one of the foremost heresiarchs of our day. He is a new Nestorius. And you can guarantee it, if any church father were present, he would be called the new Nestorius. And if you doubt me on that, let's take a look at what James White says about the actual bishops and saints of the early church. This will help you understand the level of just garbage that this person is. This is one of the most arrogant, disgusting people of our day. And I'm going to show you that that's the case. And this is great because
if we have
these kinds of, I mean, he just looks like a little, he looks like a little munchkin, like a little, like who's the Lucky Charms dude? Like if the Lucky Charms dude were mixed with Colonel Sanders, you would get out of that union between the two, if they had a love child, you would get James White. He looks like a little munchkin, Lucky Charms, give me gold.
90 seconds here.
Give me predestined gold, right? But I'm going to show you that James White is not a good faith debater. He's not a serious person. Yes, the comedian man is going to demonstrate to you, this is the irony, that James White is the real comedian, the real world clown. And this went viral. It may be up to 300,000. There's other clips as well of this debate, I think this guy's Catholic here, where when James White encounters problematic material for his position, suddenly, like the Muslims, he becomes a higher critical textual scholar.
But two things. If we have what Ignatius wrote, since I was in seminary, and I'm not sure if you're aware of this, over the past 25 years, there has been a tremendous amount of skepticism, scholarly skepticism. Okay, let's make sure we don't. There we go. The light came back on. There has been a tremendous amount of scholarly skepticism expressed as to whether Ignatius even existed and which letters are actually, because there's a Latin and there's a shorter and I was not taught that, but I'm sort of catching up with it.
That sassy little list. Where's that sassy little list coming from? Just something lit a fire under him today, and he was just on it, honey. Sassing with that little bow tie.
Ignatius
don't often people like that are taking that view, but it is a fringe view in Scotland.
I hope it's becoming the central view. I hope Ignatius.
So it's the central view from the liberal higher critics that maybe he just didn't even, he wasn't even a thing, honey. He just wasn't even a thing. Now, I again know the mind of Calvinists, and the best way to deal with Calvinists is to not take them seriously. Because the one thing a Calvinist wants more than anything is to be taken intellectually serious. And to make fun of these people as they should be made fun of, because James White's the actual clown here. They eventually reveal themselves. And let's see how many views does this thing have. What I'm getting at, long story short, this is the end of Calvinism. The internet is the end of Calvinism. Just like it's becoming the bane of Islam. Islam could only thrive when people didn't have access to real significant challenges to the position, real competent people who could debate this. So look at this. 200 and this is 250,000 views just on this Tradcat profile. And if you search this clip, it's all over many channels. And it's going to be all over many more channels. And if you remember the Trent Horn debate, James White lost the Trent Horn debate. James White lost so bad that he actually just had to resort to saying, well, the papacy is blessing, Skittles unions, which, James, with that lisp, you would do well in Rome. Maybe you should think about converting to Rome after all these years. If they're blessing gay unions, it might be up your alley. So the best thing to do with Calvinists is to actually not take them seriously. And no, I would never be even in the same room as James White. I think this person is just absolutely disgusting. Now, he said all the same stuff about me, so it's fine. I don't even care. I actually think it's funny that this guy is so troubled and miserable, and that Calvinism will make you miserable just as miserable as radical trad Thomism will make you miserable. He's miserable because it's a religion of dead works, the very thing that they're always talking about everyone else. It's a religion of weird Phariseeism. It's more akin to Islam. And it might, who knows? Maybe we'll see James White become Muslim in a few years. I mean, he likes to buddy up to the creeper Muslims, so maybe that's where he's going to go. Now, one last thing about James White before we move on. And this is what the Catholics have been saying about James White for a while. And by the way, if you're looking for a theological refutation, we've already done that. Many people have called into question his degree. One of whom is the Catholic writer Dave Armstrong. And Dave Armstrong is the chief critic in this regard in terms of White's questionable seminary. I will give you the link right here. You can go read what Dave Armstrong says. There's so many pop-ups on his freaking blog that I can't even open these pages. All right, so he says, I stated all this controversy about anti-Catholic Baptist apologist James White's doctorate, but it has been pointed out by several folks that if a person hasn't really earned their doctorate degree, with the usual amount of work required. In most legitimate institutions of higher learning, this in effect cheapens the achievements of those with real degrees. And so it's a question of him boosting his own so-called credentials. And of all people, Mormons did a deep dive, I guess, into his background because he makes a lot of arguments against Mormons. And Dave Armstrong says, we don't want to commit the genetic fallacy. He says that White claims to have earned a degree, a THD, a scholarly historical information exchange for Latter-day Saints page has says that does White have a genuine doctorate? It links to James White's defense of himself. And the first point is that this degree, I found the web archive pages. This is I think it's it looks like an online thing. Maybe they had a building at some point, but this, you have to go back in the Wayback Machine because this doesn't exist. But it was called Columbia Evangelical. And who is the quoted promoter on the first page? Why, it's James White. So the endorsement for the online degree that is not accredited is James White himself, who gives it a full endorsement. And then there's a bunch of other expert PhD evangelical goofballs on here. Now, on one level, I don't care about this stuff, which is why I don't talk about, there's not really any point in higher education anyway these days. But because this is an older Gen X boomer era person, for those people and their mindset, this really matters. And you are not a scholar if you do not have the proper credentials. We're moving into a world where that doesn't matter. It already doesn't matter, and nobody else is going to care about that. And when these people pass away, which probably won't be much longer because probably a lot of these people are normies about medicine, it sure as hell won't matter. So you can go read Dave Armstrong's questioning of the background of the man who literally says in the debate, current scholars say Ignatius might not have existed. Oh, you mean like current scholars who say that the Bible's a bunch of fantasies and myths? Those current scholars? Oh, you mean like the current scholars that Muslims point to, like Bart Ehrman, that you reject when it's a debate with a Muslim, but now you use them when Ignatius is a problem for your Baptist theology? The reason Calvinism is dying and your ministry is fading, James White, is because it's not true. It's because the Baptist faith is not the faith of Christians of the first millennium. And we all know that. That's why. It's because you're wrong. That's why Calvinism is not doing well on the internet, James. That's why. And I do not respect James White or any of these people. And I don't because that game is not going to work with me. These people are not respectful people. They don't respect me. They're not going to respect anyone of our ilk. And I'm not a young man anymore. You're not going to pull rank on me as if I'm supposed to respect your made-up Baptist ordination and whatever this is, Universal Life Church degree. And I don't care about your degrees anyway. Because accreditation ultimately, even that doesn't matter. I mean, it matters to the boomer mindset because they think there's some authority behind that. But accreditation is a state thing anyway. And so the irony is that he was looking for accreditation for this, whatever this thing is. when the boomer mindset that he has is locked into a system that they don't even realize doesn't matter anymore. They're legacy boomer people that are not in touch. And that's why when he came to my profile, it's all Chinese to him. It's like he doesn't, it's no idea. You guys have been really generous tonight. Appreciate that. We got some really fat super chats. Jordan Flores, $20. Do you ever dabble in Cosby sweater dark arts? You mean the feeble fobble deeble dobble? Some of that feeble fobble dizzle dazzle? You bet I do, baby. Jordan Flores, $100. What is your epistemic justification for a gay lisp and a Cosby sweater? It's the feeble fobble zeeble zobble. That's what it is. Jordan Flores, another $100. Latch. And then he has a milk with a chicken. Chicken milk latch. I don't know what that means, but I like it. Groove Monster, 1992, $10. Here's another book recommendation. Beberg People, Elite Power and Consensus by Ian Richardson. Ooh, that's, well, if it's a Rutledge, then it's an academic publication, so I do want to get that. Because as you guys know, contrary to boomers who like to laugh at Lord Voldemort, what we do on my channel is actually cover elite establishment books and documents. And that's why what we do is way more powerful than any of the con inc, con people, scam people. You think these people read books? They don't read books. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that pudding pop Calvinism, baby. I'm talking about that 5-point pudding pop. I'm talking about 5-pop Calvinism right there. Feeble, fobble, zeeble, zobble. That's what I'm talking about. Now, if you're looking for a theological critique of this sassy pants man over here, a little sassy. If y'all want to get a little sassy with him, you can come over to my members page, or excuse me, my posts. Come over here to the posts right here. And 3-4 years ago, over 60,000 views. We refuted James White back then about Cosby sweater Calvinism in this open forum. It was a lot of fun. 4-hour stream back here. So you can go make use of that if you're looking for some more sassy pants refutations. And what is this over here? Oh yeah, then there's other people critiquing him about his claims about himself. Whatever. I don't care about him. I'm not even going to be interacting with this person ever. I mean, what is Scripture says, reject the heretic after the first and second admonition. So there you go. Jay, read your super chats. I am reading super chats. I just read like several of them. Let's see. Demon Nut. Demon Nut. $2. Debate vegan gains. Let him join on veganism. I love you. You're hot. But Protestantism is going to the lake of lava. Well, I hope you're not a dude calling me hot, because that's a little weird. Okay, you need to maybe get over there in the Alpha Omega Ministries chat if you're going to be doing that kind of lispy stuff. You in the wrong chat, son. No, I will always forever just make fun of these people like James White. I'm not going to have a actual 1 year out RV meetup. An RV meetup with James White. Or you must be joking. Now we got 2 different lists of super chats, so just relax. I'm gonna do them. Jordan Flores sends another $100. Well, y'all being so generous, thank you. Jordan Flores is gonna take the record. I think the record is like $400 or $500 super chat, but Jordan Flores is already 300 deep, killing it. He says, "Jay, I missed you. We missed you too. No Skittles. I didn't think it was Skittles, dog, but I appreciate that. Y'all being too generous. We got Turpentine Cat. He's on new member. Jenna Ferguson, Chad Nerd members. What's up? Shout out to you guys. So we already debated Vegan Gains. No. I noticed that like Vegan Gains' last live streams or premieres, he had like 60 people in there. Okay, nobody cares about veganism. Just like nobody cares about Calvinism, and even fewer people will care about Calvinism in 5 years. We will continue to convert people to Orthodoxy, and this dumb sect will die out on its own. And he can go drive off into the sunset in his RV. No, we don't have to. You don't even have to do these engagements. Like, it's not even necessary. You understand that Calvinism is collapsing itself. Just like Islam is not doing well on the internet. And I've already debated Vegan Gains. Why do I need to do the same debate over? Do you think Vegan Gains is going to do any better than the same debate we already did? He's just looking for attention and some way to get people on his dumbass death diet channel. We already debated Vegan Gains. See, a lot of the boomer Gen Z types, they don't realize that the rest of the internet world doesn't care about the things that their era cared about. They don't care about the degrees. They don't care about your boring, shitty books. Look, 51,000 views. We already debated Vegan Gains. And this is one of the most laughable clown troop debates that we've ever had. No, there's no need to do this same discussion over again. Who's going crazy? What are you guys even talking about? I would love to debate Paul Washer and outcry him. But I don't think Paul Washer, I've never seen him do a debate. In fact, the one time that he welcomed a debate, he threw me out for asking the questions that he said you could do. So I asked him questions about tradition and the canon, and he had me physically escorted with 2 redneck dudes out of the church. So that's the kind of people that's how fragile these people are, dude. Look, I'm the kind of person that if somebody challenged me in a setting like that and we got into a debate, I'm going to debate you. I'm not going to have 2 fat redneck dudes physically remove you. I mean, unless you're acting crazy. But I wasn't acting crazy. I just asked him questions, which he welcomed. Paul Washer was like, "Friends, I want to invite any of you. If you think you can grab that Bible over there, and if you think you can question me from that Bible over there on that stand, friends, I welcome it, because I want to be corrected by the Word of God. And by gosh golly, I will cry on cue at 23 minutes and 43 seconds every sermon I do, because it's the Spirit of God moving me." These people are ridiculous. Like, actually starting to think that there's the Calvinist people and their leaders, there's something wrong with them. Like, they're messed up. Something's wrong. I mean, they're like, "Yes, God creates babies to torment them. That is our sovereign Lord. We love him." I mean, they're like proto-Satanists. So why would a proto-almost Satanist not be a scammer? Now, speaking of proto-Satanist or actual Satanist church scammers, other parachurch ministers have been in the news this week with some pretty mind-blowing stuff. By the way, I was happy to see Tim Gordon admit JP2 was a feminist. Now, wait a minute. I thought feminism is the cancer of Western civilization. It's an attack on the patriarchy. But doesn't your church dogmatically think he's a saint? How is a saint a promoter of the cancer and destruction of Western civilization? Okay, at what point do we just realize, okay, Rome lost the faith? Like, that's not hard to figure out. By the way, this is James White in his RV on his way to your town. 1 year out. You've got 1 year. You better lock up your Cosby sweaters, and you better wear some glasses, because the spit flying off of that lisp, I mean, I'm not going to say, but I've heard the spit coming off of that list. It's kind of like xenomorph fluids. You don't want that in your eye. So be sure and wear your sunglasses when the RV rolls into town. Now, where is this crazy story of this megachurch man? Oh, here we go. Gateway Church founder, megachurch man, Robert Morris, indicted on 5 counts of child S charges. 43 years later, the law caught up with him. Now, this sounds a lot like a show that we've covered. Why, it sounds like Reverend Tuttle from season 1 of True Detective, doesn't it? Interesting. It's exactly what it is. And of course, I couldn't resist that connection. And there's our boy Matthew right there. See, there's little Matthew McConaughey's over here calling out them fake preachers. So, Mr. Tuttle, Reverend Tuttle, I just want to point out, you might just be a demon-possessed PDF. Is that true? Is that right? Is that all right? This was 24 billion lost in climate change funds that the World Bank doesn't know what happened to it. Oh, my bad, dude. Hey, dude, I'm sorry, man. I had that 24 billion, bro. And I don't know where I'll put that, man. I'm sorry. But listen, could I get a little more tax money, bro? Could y'all just give me a little bit more tax money, man? Look, man, I promise this time I will not lose it. I'm gonna put it right here in my pocket. Why does he do all these weird voices now? When have I not done weird voices? And why are you even here? I think we got a Calvinist on our hands. The weird voice was Matthew McConaughey from the show, dummy. Goodbye. What's this weird voice? We got a boomer alert. A little reminder, because people still don't know this. A little bit of reminder.
Millions of dollars would be spent on LSD research at universities throughout the country, and word would begin to spread on campus about this so-called mind-blowing drug. And suddenly, there was the counterculture of the 60s.
I give the CIA a total credit for sponsoring and initiating the entire consciousness movement, counterculture events of the 1960s.
Just a little refresher. Now, this is interesting, too. I wanted to mention this. Well, we got Ron Paul. Well, audit the Fed. Well, I think we need to audit the Fed. I'm just kidding. I'm impersonating Ron Paul with an extreme, excessive impersonation for fun. But this is interesting because this comment that he mentions was in WikiLeaks was actually in Ostrovsky's 1990 and 1994 book, which I've been reading. So the whole history of the Moss AD that Ostrovsky writes about.
The history, you'll find out that Hamas was encouraged and really started by Israel because they wanted Hamas to counteract Yasser Arafat.
And I just read this in Ostrovsky's book. Now, the 1990 edition of By Way of Deception does not explicitly mention Hamas. It mentions the funding and creation of rival groups to the PLO. Now, I'm not saying that Yasser Arafat and the PLO were like necessarily the good guys. That's a whole complex, tricky situation. But I've been doing a lot of research on this whole domain because this plays into, obviously, all the stuff that's going on right now with what happened in Syria. It's, we wrote a lot about this 10 years ago with Patrick Henningsen when I was writing for 21 Wire, and we were covering what we now know of as Operation Timber Sycamore. So we were talking and writing about this at the time, 2014, 15, 16, 17, and it was declassified later, actually pretty recently, that the plan was called Timber Sycamore, use radical Islam to topple Assad. Hello, I wrote about that, talked about that as it was going on, as I got called every name in the book throughout that time period. And once again, I'm right. And has anyone said, oh yeah, but by the way, sorry for calling you Tinfoil Hat from 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, because you were actually right about all that. Do you know how many debates I had with boomers, internet idiots all over the place, whether the West and its allies were funding al-Nusra and radical Islam to help topple Assad? Many, including idiot family members. This is public knowledge. In the New York Times, 2017. A $1 billion secret CIA war in Syria. To topple Assad. Funding who? Syrian rebels. Oh, who's that? It's not moderate Islam. So here's New York Times declassified in 2017 telling you what we said in 2014. Where's the, you were right. Oh, good job. Do you want me to show you what we were talking about? You can go listen to the old podcasts back at the time. I did a podcast on NATO and Syria right around this time when this was declassified. It's called Timber Sycamore. The reason that I knew this was happening, and I don't even remember who first mentioned it. It could have been Patrick. It could have been Lord Voldemort. I honestly don't recall. But the Council on Foreign Relations had a page up where one of their writers was calling for CIA and Western support for radical Islam. It was called something like it's time to fund Al Qaeda in Syria or ISIS in Syria, something like that. It was some title like that, and that has been pulled. You can still see it in one of my old videos because I showed the CFR article in one of my old videos, and that CFR article has been pulled. It's not there anymore, but it doesn't matter anyway because Timber Sycamore has been declassified. Let's see. I think there was one other clip I was looking for. Oh, here's just a little interlude for you guys.
Take a look, it's in our book. Reading Rainbow. Reading Rainbow. I can go anywhere. Just take a look.
So just a little bit of peaceful mood music. Well, Emmanuel becomes a member for a month again. Haulin' the Goods becomes a member. Welcome, everybody. J Llama, $20. Wearing that Nero shirt means that you're in support of Milo, right? Love you. Nero is a techno band. And the Nero dude was liking my Instagram posts, which made me happy because they're one of my favorite DJ combo with the chick singer outfit. So, no, Nero's been one of my favorite EDM troops since about 2014. So we're coming up 10 years of Nero. Has nothing to do with Milo Yiannopoulos. Contrarian, $1. Do you have any thoughts on St. Ignatius Church in Franklin, Tennessee? I've been there once since the older era of the previous priest, who I guess is retired. So I've never met the priest, but we have friends that go there. So definitely, if that's the closest church to you, check it out. Jordan Johnson, $10. How do I find your Discord? I am in a Discord that I gave to other people, and it's the largest Orthodox Discord server, and basically FDA runs that. I post my posts in there, but I do not spend a lot of time in there. Don't have time for Discord. BMX 1966, $10. Thank you so much. Nicholasville, $5. Jay out here strapped up for real. Well, I mean, we got a crazy week, so I mean, have you not heard what's happening in the news this week? Volpus, $5. I'm humbly begging for an entire stream in a Terrence McKenna voice. For $5, you get one mushroom surprise underneath your pillow tonight. When you eat that mushroom, you will dream of sassy, fancy pants men giving you a little massage. How's that? That's all you get for $5. You don't get a whole stream for $5, dude. Alula, $5. I'm a little depressed when you don't stream. You're actually my favorite white boy. You're my favorite white boy. White boy. White. You have to say it like that. You're my favorite white boy. I guess, so does that mean that you're a non-white? Oh, you could be a white dude saying that I'm your favorite white boy, which is a little weird, but you could be a white girl saying that I'm your favorite white dude. Either way, even if you are a person of African descent, I'm glad and honored to be your favorite white boy. Jordan Flores, another $100. Damn, dog. $400. Jordan Flores trying to take the record tonight. Now, we had that guy who's an actor. I don't know his real name, but he was on my Riz stream. He sent $400. That might be the limit, or maybe there was a dude years ago that sent $500 at some point. I don't remember. I don't even know what there might be a limit. I don't even know there's a limit on there. But looks like Jordan Flores is going to take it. Find a man in the French Quarter, exegeting Romans 9. There's a sassy little man in the French Quarter, and he's going to do exegesis on Romans 9. Hades Undead, $10. J Dyer is listening to J Dyer. This is Jayception. I just watched your video on Sassy White. It's a 10 out of 10 stream, and I would recommend it to anybody who is inquiring about penal substitutionary atonement and other kooky Calvinists. Sassy little pants and a sassy little man. Sassing his way to downtown, yeah. Sassy little man with a sassy little ass, and he's sashaying his way to downtown, yeah. Let's pull that up. Presastination. Before the foundations of the earth, honey, I was presasinated. Just pretty assassinated. Here is the link to that classic stream. These streams just ended up being a classic somehow. I don't even know what's going on. Nathan Slippery, Christ is King, Christ is God, King of Kings. Became a member. What's up, dude? Jordan Johnson, $10. Discard, we already read that. Hesher McHeshington, shout out to Hesher, $5. And if you guys didn't catch it, we did Boiler Room last night. My mind is potato milkshake mush. Hold on. Let's come over here to Rockfin. By the way, if you're not subscribed over here on Rockfin, you can find me on the Rock right here. Great free speech based platform. Here's the link right here. And many of our esteemed friends and colleagues are also found over here. I'm going to give them a shout out and a promo right here. You're listening to the Boiler Room. So here is Boiler Room. Be sure and follow Boiler Room right here. And we might have been on YouTube last night. I'm not actually sure. If we are on YouTube, let me see. Things have, lightened up a bit. So it's nice to be able to have these conversations. Okay, here we go. ACR. Yes, here we go. So last night's Boiler Room. Here's Boiler Room over here on YouTube. So it was on YouTube last night. You can check it out right there. Shout out to ACR. Zalmox is $10. Jay, doesn't James White know that 2025 is the year of love? I love your stream and I appreciate your work. Well, maybe they heard me say that. That's why they want to try to set up a fake debate. Since I said it's the year of love, they know I'm not trying to have formal debates. The main reason that I didn't want to do the formal debates wasn't really anything about James White. It was because I was trying to finish Esoteric Hollywood 3. And I didn't know how long it was going to take to finish Esoteric Hollywood 3. But because we got stuck in the house, basically, when it was super cold, you couldn't go anywhere at our other place. That gave me the time to finish Esoteric Hollywood 3. So, thank God it's done. Maybe it'll be out soon. We'll see. That's up to the publisher. But he did send me the rough cut, and it looks great. I'm very happy. I think it's going to be a bomb. Biggity, baby. Archville, $10. Jay, bless you. God bless you. Lifelong Baptist. Is my understanding of the Trinity as Father, Son, Holy Spirit, distinct persons in one, not the same triune God? Asking as a slow boy. Well, it's not so much that the phrase is false, because, I think even a Mormon could say, well, I believe in Father, Son, Holy Spirit as distinct persons. Maybe they would say one. But, Orthodox Trinitarian theology is the Trinitarian theology of the first 1,000 years. Because the Filioque edition doesn't become dominant until after the schism. And so the monarchical Trinitarian mindset is the norm, and that's what's dogmatized at the Second Ecumenical Council. Second Ecumenical Council dogmatizes the Cappadocian doctrine of the Trinity, which is not the Filioque Trinity. And as far as I know, every Baptist I've ever heard of believes in the Filioque. So I would say, look at Dr. Bo Branson's lectures on monarchical Trinitarianism. Now, if monarchical Trinitarianism ends up being true, and no Baptist teaches that, don't play the game of, well, I'm going to be a Baptist who believes in monarchical Trinitarianism. That's not going to work. Because, number one, you're going against all the other confessions in history of London Baptist Confession, all of that. And if the Orthodox Church is the only one that maintains the monarchical Trinitarian teaching, because Rome sure doesn't, then how many does that leave you, dude? Like, that the Orthodox is the only one left. Like, that means it's the true church. Caramaggio, $20. LOL. Thank you so much, dude. Caramaggio, one gifted a membership. Vane, $2. He's been living in a van down by the river. Throwing in a little Chris Farley for that RV life. Zalmoxis, $5. Jay, say the Shahada. Receive legal imputation from Allah. It makes sense that Calvinists were also iconoclasts. Of course it does. Allah is the demon god of the Calvinists. Vane, $5. James White, a.k.a. Reformed of Rumor. It's getting crazy out here. Rhinoceros, $20. Jay, did you see that Patrick Bet David interviewed the Ben and Jerry guy? He went on where on one hand, homie wanted freedom, and on the other hand, he's afraid of ideas. I could use some knock cage on the as end of a Friday. Mad respect. Well, you know, the thing about Patrick Bet David is that Patrick Bet David is kind of in this weird stage of his life where he's like trying to make a lot of money, but he's also trying to be beige, but he's also going to be a YouTuber. He's sort of a silver-tongued car salesman, in my view. How's that? Cholskian's $8. Do you have any debates coming up? Oh, what am I? I'm forgetting the biggest damn news of the year on my channel. I already forgot this. Yes, this is what I meant to say. This is the other thing happening. The reason that I forgot, or the other reason for not setting up this stupid debate is that we're trying to set up right now the Timcast debate, which will be 50 times bigger than anything these goofballs want to do. So Tim Pool posted, where is it at? I got to scroll back to it. He said, Catholicism is the superior Christianity. And of course, this provoked an infinity of replies. Where is it at? Butterfly in the sky, I can fly twice as high. Take a look, it's in a book, reading Rainbow. Here we go. I can go anywhere. Good grief, man. How long ago was this? You can tell we've been driving in the car because there's a million tweets and retweets over here. Where's it at, man? Shit. Anyway, it got a lot of retweets, wherever it is. And so I said, here it is. Tim Pool has agreed to, not Tim himself. Well, no, Tim did agree to it, but. So after he said Catholicism is superior or whatever, I said, would you like to debate this, Tim? And that got a lot of replies and retweets. And then I started talking to Tim's scheduler, and it was somehow somebody suggests Michael Knowles. I don't remember who. Now, we don't think Michael Knowles will do it. However, my idea was, since Tim Gordon is friends with Michael Knowles, if Tim Gordon is there, Michael Knowles will be more likely to do it. And maybe Tim Pool and Tim Gordon can get Michael Knowles to come and do this debate. And that all sounded great, and everything sounded cool, and that was like exactly what we were looking for. And then, I forget who, somebody was like, oh, we got to bring in the Protestants. Get the Protestants on there too. But the problem is that when you get these panels of like 6 people, 2 Protestants, 2 Roman Catholics, 2 Orthodox, now it's going to be like just everybody yapping, right? It's going to be overly yappy. But it's not my show. I can't determine any of that. So my suggestion was Wes Huff and whoever else they want. Now, somebody said, oh, Doug Wilson wants to come on and debate. I'm not a huge fan of Doug Wilson either. So I don't know if... I mean, Doug Wilson and James White are like boomer yesteryear, go retire and play your banjo or whatever it is you do. I think it would be more... It would be a better discussion. It would be more relevant if it was the younger people, like all of the people suggested, like Wes Huff, me, Knowles, and Gordon, and then whoever else. I don't know who the other person would be. It might be Andrew. I just don't know. So the Timcast scheduler woman is trying to get all this settled. And somebody reached out to me who is Wes Huff's friend, who is interested in orthodoxy, not Wes Huff, the friend. And so he thinks he can kind of get Wes also. So there we go. Doug couldn't beat Hitchens. I totally disagree. I'm not even a fan of Doug Wilson, but he did a presuppositional critique of Hitchens and won. Debate Wes Watson.
If you ain't rich, ripped, and rare, mother freaker, I don't want to see your ass.
How's that? I'll debate that. That's why I'm saying Michael Knowles would only be willing if Tim Gordon is there as this sort of, philosophical backup. But chances are it may just be me, Tim Gordon, and Wes Huff. Or me, Tim Gordon, and, Doug Wilson. Brendan B, $10. There's a Reformed Baptist video. It's getting some attention. 8 concerns of Eastern Orthodoxy. So, guys, look. This will be a great video for you to refute with your Eastern Orthodox theology. The Cross of Pensacola is the channel. So, look, guys. Every few months, somebody sends a video of, hey, this is going around. It's the 8 reasons I'm not Orthodox. It's the 5 reasons Catholicism's true. It's the this, the this, the this. And I'm not trying to be rude or mean to you. Every time these are the videos that go around like this, they're always the lowest tier arguments that have been addressed ad infinitum. They've been addressed a zillion times. And I'm not trying to be mean or rude to you, but I guarantee you that whatever's in that video, my channel has addressed it at least 100 times. Guys, remember, we've had open debates since 2018 regularly with probably thousands of hours now. Because sometimes we've gone from anywhere from 2 to 6 hours since maybe even 2017. So I know that it's not fun but it's very draining and taxing for me to have the same debate over and over and over. Which is why does James White want to have the same canon debate that he's been having since the 90s? Especially given that, did you guys listen to the Trent Horn James White debate? Trent Horn is pretty low tier, honestly. Trent Horn still thinks that the word triad is an anti-Trinitarian term, even though it's the very term used in his Eastern Catholic churches for the Trinity. So I'm more interested in this debate. I don't care about James White. I'm aiming up, son. I'm not aiming down. And to hammer home this absurdity, I'm glad to see Roman Catholics such as this goober openly moving in the direction of Islam/Judaism, exactly as their popes and Vatican II have done. See, this is the thing with these heterodox delusions, especially the delusion that natural theology and the Old Testament teaching Unitarianism is somehow going to get you somewhere, especially in the confrontation with rabbinic philosophy and theology or Muslim philosophy and theology. You see, the last 6 years of debating Muslims has taught us the absolutely essential doctrine of the Trinity in the Old Testament, and obviously then the angel of the Lord necessarily being the Logos, the Son of God. Now, some people get tripped up on this because there's passages where in the presence of the Logos, there's also angels present. So the fact that angels are present in the angel of the Lord theophanies does not exclude the presence of the angel of the Lord, a la Exodus 3 and Exodus 23, which identifies that angel as the one who can pardon sins, so not a created being, and also in many passages called identically Yahweh. Gideon, it says, Yahweh turned his face to Gideon. What angel that's a created being is the face of Yahweh? So Roman Catholics are in delusion to the extent that, much like their heterodox BFF buddies, the Jews and the Muslims, they can't and don't believe that the Old Testament angel of the Lord, even though we've lectured through all those passages, which absolutely identify him as Jesus. Jesus himself identifies the angel of the Lord in the Old Testament as himself. The idiot heterodox Thomist cult is busy undercutting the best proofs that Christianity is true to Muslims and Jews. And why do they do that? Because they're in delusion. They don't have the Trinity, and they're following their papal synagogue master, who tells them that Muslims adore, that's a term related to worship, the same God as the Christians. They submit to God. They have the faith just as Abraham had. No, Muslims do not have the faith of Abraham. Abraham ate with Christ. Jesus says Abraham believed in Christ. Unitarianism is not the theology of the Old Testament. And because if Unitarianism is not the theology of the Old Testament, that means only Orthodoxy has maintained this, because this is dogma in Vatican II. Nostra Aetate is promulgated for the entire Roman Catholic Church. It is expected to be believed. There's no place or position ever in anything papal teaching since Vatican II that gives you any room to reject or deny this. In fact, Francis creates the Abu Dhabi Multi-Faith Center on the very principle of Nostra Aetate and the idea that Jews, Christians, and Muslims all worship the same Unitarian deity. And this is why Trent Horn is, unfortunately, a Trinitarian heretic. He also doesn't believe that the Old Testament teaches the Trinity, as he mentioned in our debate. The Old Testament, a la natural theology in Vatican II, is a Unitarian generic God. And Jesus is the revelation of the Trinity in these idiotic Roman Catholic minds. This is how stupid this is. So give it time, and these people, much like James White, will move to Islam. Because they don't even understand and see yet that their position is actually what the Muslims and the Jews argue. Imagine undercutting your best argument against Muslims. That's how stupid these people are. But heresy makes you stupid. And there's no worse heresy than denying or messing up on the Trinity. But that's exactly what these people do. There's no anyone familiar with Galatians 3, John 5 through 9, would ever think that Muslims have the faith of Abraham and worship and adore the same God as we do. And poor Sam Shamoon having to grapple with this, and I know because I grapple with it. It's a difficult thing. Sam Shamoon is going to have to learn you don't go to Rome and pick and choose the dogmas and documents that you want. And let me tell you what happens when you do. You'll go to Rome. You'll think I can pick and choose. In a few years, you'll realize I'm not actually allowed to do that. So I'm going to go to the Latin Mass societies, FSSP, SSPX, Sedevacantist, and you're going to see that they're insane. And they deny Vatican I. And I'll show you all the places in Vatican I that they deny. We've covered it 50 times on this channel. There are 4 or 5 places in Denzinger that tell you have to accept it all. You don't get to pick and choose. Even if it's fallible, ordinary papal teaching, you are expected to accept it with docility. And I didn't even know until the other day that the new canon law even restates that principle. I think it's 792. Let's see if it's 792. No, they'll just say, I don't have to follow the canon law. I get to pick and choose. No, you don't. Oh, that's not it. No, wait, I'm on 8. No, I'm on 792, not 800. What is this? Why? This site's broke. That ain't working. Let's see, 792. Let's see, maybe this is it. That's not it. I just posted it to some goober trad cat. Let me see if I put it in my bookmarks. So the 5 places in Denzinger are 1830, 1683, 1722, 1792, and then, dang it, I lost the canon law reference. It's somewhere on my wall, though. Does anybody have it handy? It's like maybe 732. It's 700 something. I know that much. Chelsky and $8. Do you have any debates coming up? Again, we're trying to organize this 3-way Roman Catholic, Orthodox, Protestant debate. I'm tired of debating all this. It's the same debate over and over. Like, guys, don't you realize, like, imagine debating the same thing since 2002 or 3. It's like 25 years of this. It's getting old. Marcus V, $10. Because you don't really hear new arguments, man. Like, whether it's Calvinists or whether it's Papists. I mean, maybe every now and then a Papist can come up with some kind of creative argument. I'll give them some credit. Like, every now and then Papists come up with some kind of... Oh, wait, let me see. I put this in the Discord chat, I think. That might be an easy place to find this. Let's see. Scroll back. This kind of stuff drives me crazy until I find it. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Oh, here we go. Found it. It's 752. Excuse me. That was close. Although not an assent of faith, so no, that's when it's something dogmatic, right? So that would be extraordinary magisterium or universal ordinary magisterium. Those two require assent of faith. A religious submission of intellect and will must be given to a doctrine of the Supreme Pontiff or the College of Bishops concerning faith or morals when they exercise authentic magisterium, even if it's not definitive magisterium. Do you see that? So is the Roman Catholic attitude, according to your canon law, actually supposed to be you judging when the Pope is faithful to tradition or not? Is that what that sounds like to you? And yet every Roman Catholic trad literally operates the exact opposite of what this canon says. That's their canon law. The canons are infallible. Oh, yeah. So here we go. This is how this works. Anyway, I'm so tired of this debate. These debates are so old and so stupid. They're the same old debates. And I know a lot of you are new, but guys, we got 1,400 videos on this channel. 1,400 live streams. Everything y'all bring up, we've addressed it. Marcos 5, $20. Have you ever addressed 7-day Adventism? First time here. Your music choices are sick. I mean, you know, if you look at the canon of Scripture, I mean, that cuts out all the Protestants. If the canon of Scripture is not right in the Protestant world, and if tradition is true, that outgoes all the Protestant stuff. And by the way, the arguments for the finality of divine revelation and the closing of the canon in the sense of there's no new public divine revelations after the death of the apostles, then Ellen White is not a prophet, because Ellen White was a kind of charismatic. So that would be an end to 7-day Adventism. Josiah Aliron, $20. I was formerly Catholic, but now I'm Orthodox due to you. Thank you so much, man. Santos Jimenez, $20. May God protect you and guide you, brother. May the fruits of the Spirit be in abundance and keep up the informative content. That was not me farting, by the way. That's my foot fart from sitting on this chair, which gets really sweaty. Was that an uncreated foot fart? Unmute, dude. Brendan B, $5. Thank you so much. Jordan Flores has taken the cake. He sent $500 in Super Chats tonight. Thank you so much, man. You're being way too generous. I appreciate it. I never met a Calvinist who wasn't elect. You know, I wouldn't say that this is a godly movie. However, I would say that the Vavitch, again, it's unfortunately a kind of a witchcraftish movie. However, the Vavitch is a pretty good critique of Calvinism. Now, I'm not saying that you should go to the conclusions of this movie when Anya Taylor-Joy is inducted into the coven, but the part of the point of this movie is that the rigors and absurdity of the Puritan worldview, that's actually what leads her to the witch team. So in other words, you know, you hear me saying a lot, like evangelicalism, Protestantism, these things, these are atheism factories. Puritanism is an atheism factory. In fact, we probably wouldn't have the extreme opposites that we have in America today. This pendulum swing from the time of the Puritans to America now being like trans Skittles heaven or whatever it is, hellhole. I mean, we've gone like, it's like full Hellraiser, right? It's full Lament Cube configuration being opened. We have such sights to show you. But I would say you want a good movie that critiques Calvinism. I wish there are not many. There are very few. I can't even think of any others. But watch The Witch. Watch Anya Taylor-Joy over here in her journey into witchcraft, because the horrors of the cult of Calvinism, basically, I think, like, Anya Taylor-Joy just realizes that, oh, I'm already worshiping Black Phillip in Calvinism. like the demon god of Calvinism is the god that I'm already worshiping. So why not be a witch? Here's some money for your foot fart, glitchy rhythm. Thank you so much, man. Y'all have seen me explain and demonstrate the foot fart many, many times. Are farts a result of the fall? No, because there's an uncreated eternal foot fart at the base of Allah's throne. Boomer Slayer, 50 Canadian. Is that a loony or a toonie? Thank you so much, dude. Appreciate that. Ryan Nasser is $5. I want to start a Lurch Appreciation Society in honor of Kissinger's wife. May God help us. I think I remember people making fun of Mama Kissinger, but I'm guessing she's not a hottie. Is she a 9 or a 10? I think I looked at a picture of her one time, but I don't remember what she looked like. She looked like the bitch. Let's see. What's Mama Kissinger looking like? Lurch, you said? Is Kissinger's wife still alive? Whoa. Nancy? Damn, dude. Is Kissinger like 4 feet tall, or is she like 8 feet tall? Dude, Kissinger done married an Anunnaki, bro. Kissinger done married Anunnaki, dude. By the way, the Vitch is pretty good. Nosferatu, not so good. I do not recommend Nosferatu. I do recommend The Witch. I'm not saying witchcraft's good, but I'm saying like... Greek letters for 5. Debate Albrecht. I don't want to. I'm not interested. They will school you on the papacy. Yeah, sure. You're the dummy that just gave me $5 saying that my apologetics is dying. So you just gave money to... By the way, in canon law and traditional Roman Catholic thought, wouldn't that make you a fautor of heretics? So if you're giving me money, that makes you a fautor of heretics. Christ is live, $2. Hey, Dyer. There's a person in the chat named Dyer. So I don't know if you're talking to them or me. Glitchy Rhythm, $2. Here's some money. No, we already read that. Orthodox Boomer Grandma, $20. Jay, I love your recent content. Good Lenten struggles to you and Jamie. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. That's really kind. Zalmox is $20. What is up with Judaic hamartiology, or doctrine of sin, where Dennis Prager goes on with poets with a quartus and says that wanking spanking to corn of youth, I've got to figure out how to decode this, is technically not not a shame, because not a thing, because children are not harmed. Well, I mean, doesn't it sound like what Jesus says about the ethics and morals of the Pharisees? What did you expect? Thomas B, $10. How does Christ assume human nature redeem everyone's nature? Because it's universal human nature. So read Mansaridis' essay, Jesus Christ, Universal Person. That's why all men are resurrected on the basis of Jesus, who has a particular body. It's not just a particular body. He actually assumed universal human nature to recapitulate what Adam destroyed in our nature. So just as Adam's death reaches everyone, Christ's resurrection reaches everyone. And that's also a refutation of Calvinism, because in Calvinism, there's no reason for the reprobate to be resurrected other than just arbitrary. Mud, $20. Did you see the J video by Westford? Mr. Westford. It's funny. In honor... no, I'm not sure what that is. In honor of Gene Hackman, any of the state was a pivotal moment in my life when I was 8 or 9. I never trusted 3-letter agencies from then on. Yeah, that's a good movie, and I would say it's it's like geared towards inculcating skepticism about that. So I agree with that. Jub gifts a membership. Josiah Eliron gifts memberships and gifts more. Jub gifts more. I'm trying to make sure I hit all these. There's so many. Theology Explorer. Check my message under previous streams. Okay, I'll try to find them. Christ is life, $2. Raid Yaj, yeah. Hey J Dyer. In reverse. Let's see. Make sure I got all the. There's more over here, so let me see. J Mel since $20. Thank you so much, man. Glitchy Rhythm, $2. Here's some money for that foot fart. Oh, we already read that. Now, guys, you all know that we have show sponsors, and the best sponsor imaginable is the best in supplementation. Especially for all you theology nerds. A lot of y'all boys are soy men. A lot of y'all got that sass in your pants and that sass in your mouth. That little lispy lisp like Dr. White. Well, you need to get rid of that. And one way to get rid of that is chalk.com. Head on over to chalk.com and combat your soy mentality with male vitality. That's right. This is excellent material and excellent stuff to combat your soy self and to promote your toxic masculinity through especially the Tonkat Elite, which is proven healthy hormone metabolism, increases physical and mental energy. 20 clinical studies. You can actually go read the peer-reviewed studies over here that this boosts testosterone. There's also the Chalk Daily. Ashwagandha is great as well. So all of these are great for a regular workout, gym regimen, and a good diet. And if you combine all these, you're good, dude. Now, it is not $122. You actually get a big discount off of that if you use the promo code JAY44LIFE. J44LIFE. JAY44LIFE. Now, you can unsubscribe at any time, but I guarantee if you do this, you're going to want it coming on the regular. And Chalk is a great company. They're very easy to deal with. Their products are really high quality. They're very stringent about the purity requirements for their products. And if you don't want a recurring subscription, you just want to test it out one time, you see that buy one time, $182. You don't do that. You get JAY40 and you get 40% off of this stack. Now, it's not just for dudes. There's also the female vitality. It's a little bit of a different combination, but it's a combination that's very applicable to the female biology. Yes, there are female biologies and male biologies. They're not interchangeable. They're unique and non-transferable. So head on over to chalk.com. I don't know why this is freezing up. And use these promo codes as I recommended. And you're going to be doing it right with your boy Billy Corson over here. Your boy Billy Corson. With your boy Billy Corson. I think it's funny when people come over here or they hear me talking about stuff, or they hear me making voices, or they hear me doing impressions, or they see like the cringecore music, or they come over here and they see funny pictures and it just blows their mind. And they always think that like I'm crazy or something like that. And they don't realize that it's just inside jokes, dude. It's a lot of like lore that we've got unique to our channel over here. We're not insane. We know what we're talking about. Let's see. Zalmoxis, $5. Will Candace debate the entire Daily Wire? Supposedly there's some lore about that where she can't talk about it for legal reasons, but I don't think anybody's going to debate over there. No, as far as I understand, it doesn't look like there's going to be any debates. Brady Chandler, $5. The angel of the Lord said, "I'm the God of Bethel." Yeah, I know. I mean, there are multiple passages, and we've lectured through. We did all of the Torah passages about the angel of the Lord. And Jacob uses the trifold parallel blessing of Yahweh, Yahweh, angel. Genesis, same as Genesis 48. To deny this is Jesus is insane. Yeah, Thomists are insane. So what do you expect? John 1 says that Jesus is the ladder that Jacob was wrestling with. Yeah, I know that. Do you think these guys, they don't read the Bible? Thomists know nothing about the Bible. All they do is read their Skittles philosophy, man. They don't care about what you're talking about. Hey, Jay, hey, Dyer, Jay, hey. Day J Higher. Christ is life. Christ is life. Thank you so much. Black Pillar. $10 for Billy Carson. I want to hear some Billy Corson. He doesn't even really talk like that. It's just funny to pretend that he talks that way. I don't know. There's so many super chats like coming in. It's hard for me to even catch them all, dude. You guys are being too generous. Let's see. There's another one I missed over here about something. Joey Valencia too. We need a gay Dyer versus gay lisp James White. You might could set that up with like a AI. That'd be funny to have like a AI, a gay eye version of me debating his lisp. That'd be funny. Okay, now this is what everybody's talking about today. And Posobiec and Candace and JBP and Cernovich and all of the Twitters are tweeting about it. And it's about Christ the King. Now, when this was a big hubbub a year ago, we covered this in 2 live streams that were both long. One just me and then one with Tim Gordon. And we talked about how and what the phrase Christ is King means. So I'm not going to repeat all that. You can go watch that for the theology of it. But Posobiec is, Jack Posobiec is talking about the person behind this paper or this essay co-written with Peterson and some other person from the ADL. And that the woman behind this research group is a far left Open Society Rutgers establishment Soros thing. And that to me is a pretty important point about this paper. Now, it is true, however, I will agree with Peterson to this extent that I do think that they want to exacerbate and give the place for extremist, like real extremist positions to come up to the fore, to bubble up, and to allow for the excuse to, see all of this? We have to combat that with new censorship, you see. And they want it to be what Christianity is this extremist position. I'm saying that's a psyop. But what I'm also saying is that they do want to have some kind of faux right-wing thing. And the reason I know that is because I have been watching right-wing political stuff for 25 years. And they don't do the same, they don't do different things. They always have controlled opposition groups, Fed groups, that step into the forefront of representing the right-wing position. And then those people are headed up by the worst imaginable people, always. Remember Seville? I told people back then, this is a stupid thing. I would never go to this. And what happened? All the idiot right-wingers went to Seville. Exactly as I said was stupid to do. And what happened? All the right-wingers were played into it exactly as was wanted. The Capitol thing, I didn't go to the Capitol thing. I thought that was, I don't have a problem with people marching and whatnot, but the entrapment, like, it was obvious that would probably be some big entrapment event. Right-wingers are idiots. They don't listen. They go do whatever they want. So guess what? I'm going to use my magical fortune-telling powers that there will be provocateur and fake and entrapped idiot right-wingers who think that they're going to reestablish Tiny Mustache Man's empire, or Reich, and they're going to play exactly into all of this. And when all this happens, and something happens, and the left ends up being justified as appearing justified as a victim, all the idiot right-wingers will die away again and cower. And in another 5 years, another exactly similar thing will pop up, and all the same idiot right-wingers will do the exact same thing. Because they do the same thing over and over and over, and they never learn. And they don't listen to people who tell them what's going to happen, even though I've been right about all this stuff. And that's why I said, like, well, these people, like, they're their own worst enemy. So, Thomas B., $5. Does St. Gregory Palamas believe that God's energies are constantly sustaining the universe? Yes. I would say he definitely believes that. Christ is Life, $2. Gay eye. What is that? Gay vision? Progressive vision? No. Like AI, but gay eye. It was a dumb joke. Caramaggio, 1 gift. Thank you. Bebsky, $5. James Whitebeard proudly stated, Jay was in numerous religious movements. Whoa. Got me. I mean, I went from being raised Baptist to Baptist Bible College Calvinist, Presbyterian, Roman Catholic, and then, I mean, is Sedevacantism a different thing, or is it Roman Catholic? You know what I mean? So, and then I left all that, got sick of it, wasn't anything for a long time. Maybe I was interested in Neoplatonism, but Neoplatonism isn't a movement. I studied all kinds of different things, traditionalism, perennialism, but I wasn't into perennialism. This is like I went and joined Rene Ganon's, Goober Sufi order or anything like that. I wasn't at Fritjof Schuon's nude commune. I just read books, man. And so, yeah, I took a long time to work these positions out and try to figure out what I believed was the most logical, accurate, biblical, patristic, historical position. So, and I mean, I would imagine that James White wasn't raised Calvinist. Maybe he was. I don't know. But so just going from Baptist or evangelical to Calvinist. And by the way, didn't James White become a postmillennialist? So I'm confused. So are you allowed to change your position within or not? Like, does that not count? I don't know. But I mean, that's just like the weakest jab that people try to use. Like, oh, if you change your mind, look at like he's unstable. Well, there's no automatic virtue to just having had a position for your whole life, because I mean that has nothing to do with whether it's true or false. Like that could just suggest that you're closed-minded and arrogant and doubling down and not open to being corrected. So Frank Schmelke, $5. I found out that the practice of unleavened bread was started by von Dreigesel of Verdun, who believed that the Last Supper is a strict Passover. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. So that would mean that when the Eastern Church rejects it as a Judaizing practice, that's exactly what it is. So I don't guess there's a whole lot more to say about the Candace. Oh, the other thing I said that's right. I did want to mention this. Now, Candace is going on a intense battle with the ideas of Zionism, rabbinic stuff, etc. And here's the thing I keep pointing out, which is that, okay, you're converted to traditional Catholicism. And I think Jack Posobiec is some kind of traditional or conservative Catholic. And I don't dislike either of these people. I think they're interesting follows. I retweet and interact with them on occasion. I don't think I've interacted. I think one time I was on a stream with Jack Posobiec for a Lord Voldemort interview. But we didn't really, we were on the stream at the same time. I don't think we didn't maybe we interacted a little bit. I don't remember, but I've not ever interacted with Candace. So I don't know Candace or anything. I've never talked to her. But what I keep sort of trying to tweet into that domain is that, like, the thing that you're fighting is what the Vatican has already accepted. Are you not aware of? I mean, I'm not trying to be rude, but it's like, you know, this is, if we go to the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops website and we look up the document from 2003, Reflections on Covenant and Mission, based off of Nostra Aetate from Vatican II, it argues that Jews do not need to convert or become Christians. The Vatican has never opposed this document. In fact, the post-Vatican II popes have said Jews should not be proselytized. Francis is famous for saying this. This is, yet again, proof that the papacy, Nostra Aetate, Lumen Gentium 16, and also Reflections on Covenant and Mission are a departure from, you want an example, Cantate Domino, which says that Jews must be converted and joined to the body of Christ before they die to avoid being condemned. Now, it says that about everyone. It says that about Eastern schismatics, pagans, Jews. Even if you're martyred outside of the church, you're still damned. That's Cantate Domino, Roman Catholic Dogma, Council of Florence. Now, what does this Reflection on Covenant and Missions document show? That really makes all the trad cats fighting this battle a losing, futile effort. Why? Because the Roman Catholic entity, the papacy, the Vatican organism, the organization, has already, for decades now, rejected this position that you're fighting for. And Catholicism is not based on what you think tradition is. In fact, the Pope is the only legitimate interpreter of tradition, not you. It doesn't matter if you think Francis is erring, if Francis is liberal. Francis got it wrong. The Catholic bishops in America got it wrong. It doesn't matter. We just saw Canon 752. You submit to their teaching even if you think it's wrong, with a docility. Now, what does their document say? Since Judaism has a threefold mission, there are certain practical conclusions that follow. Conclusions that suggest a joint agenda for Christians and Jews. It should be obvious that any mission of Christians to the Jews, to convert them, the mission is to convert in this document, is in direct conflict with the Jewish notion that their covenant is itself that mission. At the same time, it is important to stress, notwithstanding the covenant, there is no need for the nations of the world to embrace Judaism. So, Jews are fine with their covenant. Catholics should not work to convert them. Christians have their covenant. This is dual covenant theology. It's a heresy. It's the same root heresy of idiotic dispensationalism. I'm not saying that the Catholic Church here is dispensationalist, but they've adopted the same dispensationalist error of dual covenant theology. This is night and day the opposite of what Cantate Domino teaches. It could not be clearer. And so here is yet another obvious contradiction in Roman Catholic dogma. Here is the full text of Cantate Domino. The Roman Catholic Church firmly believes and confesses that every creature of God is good. Nothing is to be rejected. I'm going to skip down past this. It asserts that the indifference of clean and unclean foods of the Mosaic law pertains to ceremonials which, with the rise of the gospel, passed out of existence. They ceased to be efficacious. Does Cantate Domino, which is famous Roman Catholic dogma from the Council of Florence, does that sound at all like dual covenant theology that you just read here? And then it quotes Acts 15, the Jerusalem Council. This matter was settled at this time. When Christian religion was propagated, no carnal Jewish beliefs appear in it, but all of these passed over into the church, and it joins in the same rites and ceremonies of the gospel in believing that all things are clean. Titus 1:15. With the ending of the cause of our apostolic prohibition, this has ended. So there's nothing about a dual covenant there. Now, what about not having a mission to convert the Jews, as the document said? In Cantate Domino, it says that the Roman Church firmly believes, professes, and proclaims those not living within the Catholic Church, not only pagans, but also Jews and heretics and schismatics, will become participants in eternal life. Will not become participants in eternal life, but will go into eternal fire, unless, before the end of their life, they are added to the papal flock. And that the unity of this ecclesiastical body, the papal church, is so strong that only those that remain in it, only to those that remain in it, are the sacraments efficacious for salvation. And even if you do almsgiving and practice all of these things, and even if you die for Christ outside of the Roman communion, you cannot be saved. This clearly says there are no martyrs outside of the Roman Catholic Church. Now, the post-Vatican II papacy has openly stated many times that there are tons of martyrs who have died outside the Roman Catholic Church. That is a clear as day contradiction, and anyone that is honest with themselves can see that and can admit that. Straight White Male, $5. I hope that you're right about the right wing falling for these tiny mustache man traps. I hope that you're wrong. I mean, they always fall for it. And although the discourse has shifted, the Overton window discourse has shifted such that now the biggest profiles on Twitter openly debate topics that 5 years ago you could not discuss. That does not mean that there's not some trap being laid. And I don't know exactly how that's going to play out. But I've done and watched this long enough that that's what's going to happen. I don't know how. And people on the right are still as dumb as they were at the time of Seville. They don't listen to anyone but whoever their favorite talking head of the week is. So why wouldn't they fall for the same stuff? I mean, you're talking about people who think that Islam is based and that the right and Islam should like team up. Like, that's how stupid these people are. You think they won't fall for the next trap? Of course they will. I thought I had a comment. I was going to look for the Peterson Candace exchange. Where is it at? Where is it at? I don't know. I can't even find it, but so basically it has progressed now to the discussion. This debate has progressed to, since many people have noted the pedigree of this article that was written with Peterson, people are asking, Candace says, since this is all now listed as these affiliated organizations, many people are asking Dr. Peterson, why are you partnered with the ADL on this issue? Now, Jordan Peterson, as we know, has still chosen not to accept Christianity. And he talks a lot about God as an idea, God as this and that. It's very Jungian. It's all this kind of stuff. It's really weird to have people that are not Christians telling Christianity what it is and what they should believe. Are any of these people going to go and tell Muhammad and the Mohammedans what Islam is? Will they be telling rabbinical teachers and sages what rabbinical philosophy is? No, but they all want to tell Christians what Christianity is. Interesting. Now, this is interesting because people are pointing out that in the past, in 2017, Dr. Peterson was discussing that the ADL was working to shut down speech and apparently was critical of this. And yet now it is being discussed that he is writing letters or essays about this with these organizations. So which one, what is it? Is it like free speech or not, right? Well, that's why they are working and need to make the phrase Christ is King hate speech, even though most people who are into theology know that like there's nothing to do with hate speech. However, another reason that this is a problematic statement is not just obviously because Jewish philosophy and religion would reject it, but dispensationalists hate this phrase because dispensationalists do not actually believe Christ is King. They believe that there's dual covenant theology and that there's no relevance of Christianity to the political sphere, Christian Zionism, etc., because they don't have the church. And as I argued, once again, the Roman Catholic Church no longer teaches the necessity of a Christian state or that Christianity speaks to the social sphere. Vatican II, in its Religious Liberty, Dignitatis Humanae, Jacques Maritain, and John Courtney Murray chapters, accepted religious pluralism. And that's why I brought this up to one of these Roman Catholics today. Right here. Yeah. He says, when I said that the Roman Church post-Vatican II has talked about de-Christianizing Catholic Christian states and that it needs to accept a form of religious pluralism a la Vatican II's religious liberty doctrine. And then this guy, Catholic guy, oh, that's a stretch. No, it's not a stretch. Go read your Vatican II documents. Anyway, I'm just so tired of talking about stupid papal stuff, dude. It's like, we've reached the point where, like, anybody's still in this, and I love you, Tim, but, like, Tim, you're sitting here saying that the greatest saint pope of your century was preaching satanic doctrines. Anyway. Addie Valentine, $10. Do you think that Orthodox YouTube is divine providence? Yeah, I think everything's under divine providence, so yeah. Is it some sort of play by the elites? No, the elites are not promoting Orthodox Christianity, I can assure you that. Is it my algorithm? I think the algorithm's just pushing what people are interested in. Glitchy Rhythm, $5. Dawson has great work in the past. I understand why you wouldn't want to if that's your opinion. Wouldn't want to what? No, I'm not going to talk to Ryan Dawson. We had a debate on atheism already. He says Christianity is a psyop. I mean, go watch the debate that I did with him about basic philosophical things. And it's like, do you guys not understand how annoying and frustrating it is to have debates with people who can't even do basic philosophical discussion? Glitchy Rhythm, $2. Don't skip my super chats again. I'm not skipping your super chats. Did you watch the debate with Ryan Dawson? Did you not see how stupid it was? Without lies is on Baz $5. Would you be up for a 2-on-2 debate on the Trinity with Nick? I mean, I would go on God Logic and do a Trinity debate with people, but or Crucible or Jake Rattlesnake, but it just depends on who the opponents are. Like, I'm not debating any of these low tier people. So, no, if it's like somebody with 2,000 followers. $42 attack, $10. Talk to Bishop Barron. Why? Why? Maybe not a debate. Can we cut to people that actually know what they're saying? I mean, did you hear Bishop Barron debate with William Lane Craig? I don't think Bishop Barron knows what he's talking about. How about a real talk with Shamoon? I mean, I've had a lot of discussions with Shamoon. Guys, why do I have to, for you to learn stuff, it's not necessary for me to interact with all the other people. I mean, I don't mind it, but we've been interacting and debating with people for, this is like, we've done 7 years of debates, 7 years of open debate for hours. And you guys always want me to talk to some normie goofball like Bishop Barron. First of all, those people don't want to talk to me. And why would I want to talk to them? Why would I want to talk to somebody who doesn't want to talk to me? When are you going to debate Gavin Ortland? I've already addressed these people. Gavin Ortland doesn't want to talk to me. Rogue Renaissance, $5. You've been a help in me improving my life. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. I appreciate you, bro. Keep putting out the heat. Appreciate that, man. $42 attack. If Christ wants us to not be lukewarm, how do you think we should go through life? I mean, not lukewarm. So what do you mean? Must we think about these topics all the time? I do, but I will lie. It's not fun. Would he be okay with me watching a baseball game to get a break? I know that you're against that foolishness. I never said you can't watch a baseball game. So, I never said that. I just said sports is an idol. But I'm not a monk, man. We're not monastics. So, there's nothing wrong with leisure. There's nothing wrong. I mean, we watch movies, man. I write books on movies. I write for Sam Hyde. Why would I think that a baseball game is wrong? Ezra's Ghost, $2. God bless you, Jay. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Remember, subscribe to my site at jaysanalysis.com. You can get access to the archives. You can get signed copies of Esoteric Hollywood 1 and 2. You can always get those in the shop. And by the way, we are back home now, so the book orders that have been back ordered and slow, they will be going out very soon. So I know a lot of people have been waiting. We had 2 deaths. We had to go deal with that. Those we had to bury people, and we had to, deal with that for a month. So it's not, I can't order the books and mail the books when I'm traveling to multiple places for funerals. So I'm sorry that your books are late. You're going to get your books. There's no need to complain. You don't have to email me. You don't have to get tracking for UPS. You get your books. I promise you. Okay? Just be patient. It's going to take a little bit longer than normal. And what else am I forgetting to plug? The philosophy course is still available. You can get access to the philosophy course by clicking the link right here, the new philosophy course. It's always available. As long as Richard Grove lives, it will be there. Straight white mouth head hours. People want you to talk to normies so that you can decimate their worldview, represent all of those discussions have already been had. I responded to icon critiques about 5 times. Just type in J. Dyer icons and you'll get all of the same arguments that I would make were I to talk to Gavin Ortland. Type in J. Dyer sedevacantism. You'll get all the arguments that I would make against the sedevacantists. I know many of you find endless, infinite debates entertaining. I don't find these debates entertaining anymore. They're chores. They're boring. They're always the same debate. They don't, I mean, even the Islam stuff was new. But after 6 years, the Islam debates are all the same. The tag questions are all the same. Everyone that calls in to the open debates asks the exact same tag questions. Everyone that calls in about PSA asks the same PSA question. I understand you like to watch, but like I like to do other things, guys. Like I'm having a lot more fun writing for the Sam Hyde Show than debating goobers for the 1000th time. I promise you, if you had heard the same debate and had the same debate for 20 plus years, you'd be tired of it, man. Walk with the Spirit says it's funny for us. I know it's funny, I know, but so is just sitting here on a live stream and making fun of people. That's equally as fun for me. Like, and don't you guys like? So if you really like debates, like, just go back to the back catalog. You understand? There's hundreds of hours for you guys of idiots. We just had like, I had an hour debate with an atheist idiot that was hilarious on the last X Space. And guess what? It's the same as every atheist debate. Like, why are you guys making me torture myself with the same debate that every damn atheist has said since I encountered atheists when I was 19? I've never heard him say anything new or different. Is a lot of this audience like just 20 years old or something? Like they just haven't seen a lot of this? Let me tell you something. When you get to be middle of life, it's the same stuff. Nobody brings anything new or different or interesting. Well, what about Gavin Ortland? Gavin Ortland. I did a 20-minute video that addresses the basics of what Gavin Ortland talks about. Guess what, lazy bones? You don't even have to watch the 2-hour live stream, the 3-hour talk, because that's a half talk. You don't even have to watch those. Here's a 20-minute video from Protestant scholars right there. Go watch that. Straight white male, $5. The Sam Hyde Show is awesome, by the way, bro. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. I mean, it's it's an honor. I'm really happy to be doing it. I'm honored and humbled that, and it's not just me. We got Ryan and a couple other guys writing too. But I've just been really humbled that, somebody who is as good at comedy as Sam is, that he would utilize my ideas. It's just a very humbling thing, and I'm really thankful. I'm really appreciative. Sam's been super cool, super nice to me. Man of his word, never said or done anything weird or not done what he said he would do. Very professional, very driven, very hardworking, doesn't stop. He's a beast, and one of the best, funniest minds out there today. So, I'm living my best life. That's all I'm saying. I'm living my best life, honey, and I hope you are too. JB Peltier, $5. When are you gonna necromance Muhammad with magic and debate him? That'd be interesting. Like let me go to the Witch of Endor, and when she gets done talking to Samuel, we'll see if she can raise Momo. Yeah, I was bragging when James White was saying that he didn't think I was a comedian. I said, I'll have you know, I write for one of the biggest comedians out there. You might have heard the name, Amy Schumer. Giovanni Martinez, what's up? Glitchy Rhythm, $5. The younglings can learn a lot about their own beliefs from debates. You still miss my $10 super chat. Well, man, I'm trying. I'm scrolling back. $10. Would you consider another debate with Ryan Dawson on Christianity as a psyop? No, it's no different than all the same stuff the same debate that Kotel had with Adam Green. Why would I do the exact same debate over again? It's like debate vegan gains and ask yourself on ethics. We already did. Debate Ryan Dawson on Christianity. We already did. Ryan Dawson couldn't state why relativism is a contradiction when I argued what it was, that it was, and he couldn't state it. He couldn't grasp that. So if a person is a moral, ethical, epistemic relativist, the debate is already over. Ezra's Ghost, $2. Fake piety is annoying. Yeah, it's one of the worst, most annoying things out there. Common Sense, 2323. I didn't know Orland won't talk to you. I was just wondering. I mean, look. A lot of people in the consuming content space have no discernment, and they can't pick out how fake and phony and posturing and like most of these online apologist people, they're awful. I don't even want to be associated with these people. I cringe when people say, are you one of these online apologists? I'm like, ugh, please don't class me with these people, because I don't like any of these people. I mean, Tim Gordon doesn't even say he's an apologist. And it's just a crowd of just the worst, man. I don't like any of them. I'm trying to think of... I mean, I like Sam Shamoon. I mean, on a personal level, I like God Logic. I like Nick. But like the rest of them, I don't even want to be in this stuff with these people. These people are ugh. Straight white male, $2 debate Trump. That would be fun. I don't know what I would do if I had to debate Trump. Might be a little nervous on that one. Anyway, guys, hit like and share. Support this show through our sponsors, Chong.com. Get the books. Go to the website. Subscribe. Go to the Rockfin. Get access to the stuff on Rockfin, as well as all of our friends on Rockfin. Rockfin's still there, still going. Oh, and then Bitcoin. I wanted to mention this real quick before we go. We love Ivan over here. Ivan was cracking me up. Ivan had some good comments. Let's hear a little bit of this before we go.
Likelihood based on the analysis, and we are bullish for the coming weeks. Why? Again, there is no...
This credit card has an interest rate that's really, really low. How low? This low. The credit card that
no more FUD. Like, which FUD? This tariff FUD, I don't believe really that it is so significant that the whole market is going to zero that people are predicting. And both when it comes to stocks, I mean, there's so much FUD. It's quite crazy. But not only that, you also have Bob Lucas coming out saying that, you know, let the cycle rip higher, at least for now. Likely we will rip higher, both for stock.
So we had all this FUD and tariff FUD, right? So the tariff scared the markets, and that's been annoying, but it's not annoying. This is good, because many of you were whining and complaining weeks and months ago when we had the new ATH, and I tried to explain that when it dips is the time to buy.
And for Bitcoin. And listen, Bitcoin has not changed. Bitcoin is the same as it's always been. The use case of Bitcoin now is stronger because the Trump administration has been printing pro-Bitcoin orders all the time. You have Lutnick. Look at who is actually in charge of the government right now. You have Lutnick being literally in Bitcoin, having hundreds of millions in Bitcoin. It's very, very, very important. Let me bring this up. Lutnick, hundreds of millions Bitcoin. This is very key, okay? Very, very key. And he is likely to get even more crypto. And this is so important here. Howard Lutnick
So don't you guys see how bullish this is with all of these people in the administration? It doesn't matter whether you like these people or none of that matters. Like, they've established a strategic reserve. Loomis is now saying she's going to introduce the bill. That will take Bitcoin to 800K in 5 years.
And so many other people in the administration are holding. Let's see, he's the U.S. Secretary of Commerce. He has stepped down as chairman of Cantor Fitzgerald, and he has confirmed, this was weeks ago, that he has hundreds of millions in crypto, and he will go to billions. This guy is going to go to billions. You have Trump holding 500 million worth of ETH, and he's lost quite a lot now. On this recent ETH dump, Trump has lost quite a lot. Next, you have Elon Musk and everyone else who is pro-business. I mean, literally business.
42 attack, $10. You think that I'm telling you to debate Shamoon, Father Schmitz, Baron when I said talk? No, man. Those people don't want to talk to me. I mean, Sam will talk to me, but Sam's a controversial guy. These other people avoid controversy. They don't want to talk to me, man. Everyone is doing little chats these days. Gospel, Daily Wire, bro. They don't talk to people associated with Lord Voldemort and people in the conspiracy world. So I'm not trying to be mean to you. It's just they're not going to do that. I hate Afka $1. What's the move out of idealism into realism? I'm confused with reality being the mind of God. Reality is not the mind of God. Reality is a creation based on the mind of God. We are icons of God, right? So we're made in the image of God. We're not in the mind of God in the sense of like idealism. There's an external world that God created that is not identical to God and not identical to the divine mind. Jack Carson 15, $10. Jay, are you afraid to debate me? Yes, terrified. Just kidding. I'm not actually giving Ortland PS. Have you ever addressed penal substitutionary atonement? No, never. I've never addressed PSA, and I never will. Boomer Slayer, $5. What is the last time you played Gnome Hyperborea? Maybe we need to go out on that. Let's listen to Ivan has some good points here.
This man in charge. So there's no way that the stock market will fall further. There's no way that the stock market will enter some kind of depression or bear market or what the hell people are saying, because the whole administration literally is full of crypto people and stock market people. And also the voters who voted for Trump, all of them have 401k. And when you look at your 401k, you look at your retirement, you quickly see maybe it's not that good that the market is dumping. So basically, everyone who supports Trump and this administration, they don't like this current thing with markets going down. And that's why I think Trump will come out in the...
No one at the Daily Wire is going to debate with me. except for perhaps Michael Knowles, if we can convince him to go to Timcast with Tim Gordon. No one in the sphere of those normie Roman Catholics ever is going to debate with me, and they don't want to, and I don't care, and I don't care about them. So, anyone who's not interested in talking to me, I don't want to talk to them. Why would I want to talk to low tier normies? Glitchy Rhythm, who don't want to talk to me. Glitchy Rhythm, $5. I'm not saying debate anyone to prove orthodoxy is true. It's an interesting topic. You objectively prove church history. You do that well. I get it though.
In the coming weeks, and he will be heavily pumping the market. And he's already kind of started. This was earlier today. He came out and said, our economy will boom. Okay, our economy will boom. This is very important for him.
Okay, guys, clicking the button. The economy will boom. Trump is getting the morale up. And why? Because of this. Let me go to this part.
It's a question of time before the Fed decreases rates and also starts QE. Who the hell knows? At the end of the day, it's a fiat debt. Who the hell knows? At the end of the day, it's a fiat debt-based economy. Strategic reserve. That's step number one. Step number two is to get Congress to vote to buy.
What was step number one? Bitcoin strategic reserve, which was just announced. I told you this was coming. What is this crap?
Buy 1 million Bitcoin. It's happening. Listen to this from Cynthia Loomis. Very important.
I'm so pleased to announce that today I will be reintroducing the Bitcoin Act. And I'll be joined here shortly by Senator Justice of West Virginia, who is one of the co-sponsors. And we have several other additional co-sponsors. And a lot of it is a result of the excitement that's been building, both of them. I'm so pleased to announce
there we go.
that.
I mean, she's so pleasant when she speaks. It's crazy. It's crazy. She has that, good grandma voice. I want to drink tea and eat cookies in her kitchen and discuss life or something. Like you listen to her speaker, like, man, it's very nice voice. Very. That's how she convinces everyone to vote for this Bitcoin stuff. She comes there with cookies, with.
That's right. Shout out to Ivan. That's what I'm talking about. Y'all ready to retire? When we get that purchase? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I'm going full Kip, baby. Full on Kip dynamite. That's what I'm talking about. Why is this not working? I'm trying to play Gnome Hyperborea on the way out. And it's not wanting to do it. It's being a fussy thing. Here we go. Y'all ready?
Why is Amazon paying me
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, baby. Thank you guys for being so generous tonight. It's a party time. Excellent. 42 attack. I'm not trying to be mean to you. When you keep telling your audience it ain't going to happen, you will never get it to happen. There's no call to action. Loss after loss. I'm just, yeah, thanks, man. I'm just engaging in loss after loss because I won't tell my audience to go tell Bishop Barron to debate me or talk to me. I'm just engaging in L after L. Have a good night. Enjoy my money. I tried to help you. Thanks, man. Common Sense 2323 $5. Have you ever spoken with Hank Hanegraaff? No. I'm good. He was a massive force in non-denominationalism. He converted to Orthodoxy. I know. Conversation regarding it making me think. I heard he was sick. I'm not really familiar with him. Don't know anything about him other than that he converted and was still pushing evangelicalism when he converted, which is doesn't make sense. So don't know anything about him personally though.
$63,000. Oh, I didn't make this kind of money selling yoga mats.
Shut up, dude. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Everybody have a good night. A lot of fun. Hit like, share. I got to figure out how to retitle this. The titles didn't end up really being appropriate. But that happens often when we do these live streams. I end up talking about all this other stuff that's doesn't even fit the titles. But that's the beauty and the fun of the stream of consciousness shows that we do over here. By the way, if you do want to support me via Bitcoin, you can do so at this address right here. That